Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 471 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. As you may have noticed, I have changed the titles in the opening of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Basically, it's the DC films that are coming out this year. At least one of them I'm truly hoping it is. But it goes to show what I'm really focusing on what's released this year. But we're still going to talk about DC films that are also in production. But before I do that, I want to play you this clip.
Affleck was the bomb as Batman, yo.
Word, bitch! Batfleck like a motherfucker! What's up now?
Awesome. I did not know because I never watched the Jay and Silent Bob sequel, but he referenced Batfleck in that movie. That is so cool. And of course, it kind of, like I said before in the live chat, it's almost like the reference with the, Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms, yo. But this one, it's in terms of Batman. But segue into the Batman. The Batman is indeed shooting with Matt Reeves, the Batman, Robert Pattinson as the Batman, not Ben Affleck as Batman. But still yet, it's still a Batman movie, and it is filming in, I believe, Glasgow. So that is going on right now. We've kind of hoped we'd probably get like a suit reveal at this time. Nothing happened today in terms of that, but there were some news regarding to that. But in the way of the Batman stories, there are a few things that I want to cover. Greek Vibes Nation said this. Robert Pattinson says an R-rated The Batman would allow filmmakers to do more with the character. As soon as you make something an R-rated movie, says Robert Pattinson, you're freed up to do so much stuff. And I have to tend to agree to that. And I think a lot of the things that are happening with Birds of Prey, perhaps even the Suicide Squad, who knows, and what even happened with the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, which was also rated R, it frees you up. It doesn't restrict you to do a lot of things. Just like how... And I know, if Scott Derrickson was allowed to make an R-rated Doctor Strange, he would have been making horror, it would have been scary, it would have been completely different from the kind of stuff, the conveyor belt material McDonald's MCU that would came out. But because Kevin Feige restricted to the PG rating, they weren't able to do that. Well, Warner Brothers, like I said, you have an opportunity here to create something special, to free up your directors, your filmmakers, your artists, to create something original, create something that no other studio, especially a big studio like Disney, will be able to produce. And if they are going to allow Matt Reeves to make an R-rated The Batman, there could be something special about that. It really frees you up to do so much stuff, and I'm very happy that Robert Pattinson seems to agree to this fact. He seems to actually want this to happen, and I think it should happen. Whether or not Matt Reeves intended to make an R-rated Batman for the forefront, or it just an R rating would allow his script, his story to flow better. It would actually allow him to tell the story how he wanted to tell. And I think that is a very important thing. So I don't know if the Batman is going to be R rated, but it does seem like they're tiptoeing lines of saying, hey, if we allow this this rating to flow, we could do so much more with this stuff. And I think Robert Pattinson, and an actor of his caliber, would also agree with that as well. But not only that, Peter Sarsgaard has some stuff to say about the Batman. Now, this is getting kind of interesting, but let me know what you think. While he did not divulge details on his role, Peter Sarsgaard did note that the Batman distinguishes itself from the previous films with its young cast, adding that the new adaptation has an edge to it. To elaborate, Peter Sarsgaard likened the Batman to the Pixies, an alternative rock band known for songs such as Gigantic and Dig for Fire. Matt directing his Batman is exciting. The cast is so awesome it seems different from other Batman movies to me, just with the cast. There's something about it that has an edge. It's young. To me, just my perception of it, it reminds me of when I was in college and I went to go see the Pixies play and looking around and feeling the vibe at a Pixies concert. That's what it felt like to me. A song like I Bleed, that it has the energy and that sort of thing, and it isn't so specifically targeted to a very young audience or a very old audience, but has the power of chaos in it. What? Peter Sarsgaard expanded on his comparison by explaining that the Batman will be very emotional. The Pixies were my favorite group of all time. I went to like 20 concerts. It was like that feeling of all of us in this. And it's very emotional. The Pixies were an incredibly emotional band, and I think this Batman is very emotional in that way. I think it will be very powerful. Now, it almost seems like you have no idea what the hell he's talking about. And for the most part, he's kind of relating to the Batman in a sense. I think what he's trying to mean here is that it is something that is familiar. There's something new about this Batman, but it has all this emotion to it that he's very much in tune with this. And just like every actor who comes upon the project, they're very much involved, at least the good ones anyway, the good movies, right? You can tell they're involving themselves. They're bringing it their all. They're totally in tune with the story. They're passionate about the story, and I think that's what Peter Sarsgaard is really trying to say here. He's very passionate about this project. It's very involved, this project. This movie is very emotional. It brings back things about the old, the young, the new. It brings people together, and it's not necessarily, and I'm hoping this is also what he means, it's not necessarily a kid's movie. It's not necessarily an adult movie. As everybody can get something out of this movie is what I think he means. But in any case, it just shows that Peter Sarsgaard, probably with the other actors as well, including Robert Pattinson, is very much involved and very much emotionally tied to this movie. And I think that also means they're going to give it their all. So that is something good, I think, for the Batman. Now, not much I've heard for Catwoman, but Zoe Kravitz did go on Ellen show, the Ellen DeGeneres show, and talked a little bit about Catman. So check it out.
This is very exciting. I just found this out today. I don't know if everyone else knows this, but you're about to start filming. You're going to be in the Batman movie,
yes.
And you are
Catwoman.
Wow.
Yep. Nervous. I was sitting at the Globes with David Kelly because he writes our show, and Michelle Pfeiffer, and I was bowing to the Queen.
Yeah.
Nervous to be in her presence now.
And you're flying out tonight to London to start, right?
Yes.
Have you had a costume fitting yet?
We've had many. It's going really well. It's very exciting, and I've been training a ton too, which has been great and hard, and
I bet it's very physical.
very physical. I come home just limping every day. It's actually pathetic.
But I'm so excited. So you're leaving tonight to start, and I can't wait to see that.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
Yeah.
Congratulations. High Fidelity premiere. This is very.
So that's Zoe Kravitz talking about Catwoman. I like how she says Catwoman. It's very Selena Kyle-ish. I might add, but that's great. She has done different costume fittings, which that means we're getting closer to actual reveal. Probably it's very physical, so there is going to be quite a bit of physicality in this movie, which is good. It's not just a noir detective story, and I'm just thinking, but maybe there's going to be a lot more physicality and action to this film than originally thought, where it was just a detective interview, interrogating movie kind of thing, a noir per se. But even those have some physicality to them as well. So this was actually the day before. Or actually yesterday rather, and so this is before she went out to shoot. Presumably they've been shooting already, so in the days to come we'll probably maybe get a reveal. We probably get possibly a suit reveal soon, or are they going to play it like how they did with like Captain Marvel, Shazam, how they just let people from the outside capture very ugly pictures of behind the scenes of them in their suits. I truly hope that that's not the case. I truly hope by the time before we even see the reveals or even close to it, we get to see an actual nice shot from from a photographer like Clay Enos, who we show a nice, a nice shot of them in a suit, in a heroic fashion, just like how they did back then in like Man of Steel when they revealed, or even how Zack Snyder revealed the Batman in front, Ben Affleck's Batman in front of the car before we ever saw. That's the first reveal, and that got everyone excited. Why can't we have that? Warner Brothers is very interesting nowadays, where they really hide things. They really don't want to do things. They do things in a weird way, not like before, where they seem a little more confident, or let the directors and the filmmakers kind of promote it themselves. And I was hoping they get back to that. But as in the case of this, in the case of besides Birds of Prey actually had a kind of a reveal of the cast as a teaser, which was kind of nice. But Shazam, the Batman right now, I know it maybe is kind of early, but I thought we were gonna see something. And Wonder Woman 1984 had a pretty good reveal too. So hopefully we'll see something. I mean, even the Suicide Squad barely had anything, actually. We don't even know who's playing who, really. There was like really no official thing, and I'll go into that a little later. But we also saw costume sets on the behind the scenes from amateur footage, and I thought that was kind of cheapish. I think we should have maybe got some things just to give that part out to the public, saying, this is the movie, this is how it's supposed to look like. That's just behind the scenes before the post-production and stuff like that. But it depends, I guess. I don't know what the studio's thinking about that. But before I get into Suicide Squad, there was another promotion for Birds of Prey, and there's a little bit of part in here that I thought it was worth talking about. So here, check this out.
This is our story.
They have my diamond. I think you can manage a couple girls.
Bad like a villain, I pop it and then I reload. Hold, please. If he gets the diamond, you'll be unstoppable.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I like it when you call me crazy, long as you keep calling, baby. Nothing gets a guy's attention like violence. Yeah.
Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey. Rated R. Experience it in IMAX.
So, I thought this was interesting. Not only there is more footage in here, more Black Mask, a nice costume reveal, and over here I think this is where the other Huntress was at, in her more comic book accurate costume, I like to say. But what is interesting here is that they say here, if he gets the diamond, he'll be unstoppable, right? And I don't know if you've heard about the whole, there's the diamond has something in it that is more of a joke, more of something that Black Mask has kept in private and didn't want anybody to know. There's a picture of something in there. I don't want to spoil it for you, but that reveal is comedic. Now, I know there were reshoots. I know that there is test audience and test screenings, and sometimes these test screenings have different plots in them even, right? They put things out that may or may not work. It's interesting to me is this a play? Is this like we're going to reveal like, the diamond is going to make this unstoppable in terms of what does that mean? Like he was going to be so rich he's going to provide weapons to his, or is there something powerful about the diamond, or is it just something that they think would be making him unstoppable, but he really wants something personal out of it, and it's a twist towards the movie. But if anything, I know there's one YouTuber who has very much said that, the jokey part of it is the true part of the movie. we'll have to wait and see. And then we'll see if that is truly correct. And then if it's not, they definitely have either changed it, or it's true that, and I believe it's true, that test screenings have different plots in them and different things that work and not work. And ultimately, it's a choice of the studio to go with one thing or the other, depending on those test screening audience reactions. But anyways, I thought that was interesting when they finally kind of show you that it's more about just emancipation of the girls, but that there is an actual plot that Black Mass truly wants something, and they're going to stop him from getting that something. So you can see a kind of basic plot there, more than them protecting themselves. At least in this case, right? There is a certain plot device here, and that is the diamond that they're going to use to go through this story. So I thought that was worth noting in this new spot, if you will. Now, I want to go into the Suicide Squad now. This came up. Rumor from Greek Vibes Nation, Alex Braga could potentially be playing Poison Ivy in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Right. So there was a rumor that Poison Ivy could be in Suicide Squad. Right now, I think they've pretty much kind of figured out each actor and actress and who they play in the movie, including John Cena, which we'll talk about in a minute. But Alex Braga is also in the film. Now, she's not very well known, I don't think. You may recognize her from a couple movies. Well, she's in the New Mutants that's coming out, and she was also in the Predators, right? So you may recognize her from that. But potentially she's very, not out there. But the fact that she's playing Poison Ivy is quite interesting. Now, if there is certainly a case where Poison Ivy is in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn is in The Suicide Squad, then we now see 2 of the 3 big stars for Gotham City Sirens. And if that's the case, that's kind of exciting. Would David Ayer potentially use Alex Braga, if she's indeed Poison Ivy, to be in his Gotham City Sirens movie? He's got Margot Robbie, potentially Alex Braga if it's true, and then now he just needs a Catwoman, right? And then, we can go in discussions on whether or not they bring in Zoe Kravitz or not, but maybe at a later date. But in any case, that is exciting to see that there are more. This universe is indeed expanding in a weird, a sideways motion, but it's still expanding in a way, and they're putting actors and actresses in these big roles to be utilized, possibly later. But like I said, James Gunn hasn't really revealed too much about who plays who, unless you've seen the actual on the set amateur footage from the sets for those characters. But for the most part, a lot of them he has never really said out loud, including John Cena. John Cena is in the movie, but we still don't know. We haven't really seen him in too much in the movie. Or amateur footage or anything like that. They've kept him pretty hidden. Now, rumor is that he's supposed to play Peacemaker, yet even in interviews he says, don't believe everything you hear, and he's not going to even go there. He's not going to even say anything about that. But if you want to know how excited he is, there was an interview with Collider, and this is what he said. He recalled his initial reaction after reading Gunn's script, saying, "I was blown away. The first 10 pages are like a movie in itself. It's really, really special. That's because the guy steering the ship, James Gunn, is committed to narrative and committed to creating characters that we connect with and sending them on an awesome journey. I mean, what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy is really special." Cena was equally blown away the first time he met Gunn and walked into his office to see walls covered with storyboards for the Suicide Squad. The whole thing storyboarded. I'm like, man, this guy already knows the movie, and if it wasn't flooring enough, I'm in some of the storyboards. Cena compared Gunn's storytelling with his career as a performer in WWE. When I watch Guardians, immediately I'm connected to these people and I walk away with a certain takeaway from that film. It has nothing to do with the preconceived notions of the comic book characters. I watched the movie for the movie, and I enjoy it. I'm also a storyteller at heart. I got to go out there on a nightly basis WWE and entertain Birmingham, Alabama, and make them want to believe that they want to see a WWE title switch, or that so-and-so hates and so-and-so, or whatever story we're trying to put together for that night. So I tip my cap to a great storyteller. James is a writer and developer, and he has a great vision. Ultimately, Cena was most impressed by Gunn's passion and dedication to the entire project. You want to go work with people who jump out of bed every day and want to go to work. Gunn is the epitome of that. He cares so much about what he's doing, and I think especially when he's put in a position to write, develop, and do this by his rules, essentially. He chose the franchise, he kind of dictated his terms, and now he's really betting on himself, and I hope everybody enjoys seeing it as much as we're enjoying it and making it, because it's awesome. And what was it like putting his character's costume on for the first time? Awesome. There is folklore about, like, yeah, kid, wait till you do a superhero movie. I guess I'm used to my costume being jean shorts and a t-shirt, so it's a nice little change up that I didn't have to wear a ball cap and wristbands, but it's really cool. The Suicide Squad is due to hit theaters on August 6, 2021. So, very passionate. Like I said, these actors are very passionate about the work they're in, and that's a good thing, actually, because you want them to give it their all. He's very passionate about Gunn's work here. Now, he doesn't say much. There is a superhero suit, if that's what you think. But what I'm kind of intrigued and interested to see is what he said here, with if it's true, and if we're going to believe every word he says, and why not, that James Gunn chose this franchise. He chose to be in the DC universe. He dictated his terms. He's really betting on himself, meaning he's getting his way. He is getting his way to make the movie that he wants. He's not, and that's why he's here. He's putting it all. His is like, if I'm going to do this movie, you're going to allow me to do this movie. So, just like Matt Reeves, the Batman, just like Birds of Prey with Robbie and Kathy Yan. I guess it does kind of show you that they are allowed to make the movie they want to make. It's getting more director driven, and we'll see when the movie actually comes out if we can actually find their unique signature on the movie, right? If you can actually find that, okay, I can see this is a James Gunn movie. Okay, I can see this is a Matt Reeves movie. Okay, I can see that this is a different movie. I mean, I've never actually seen Kathy Yan's movie, but having it seen how it's developed and how it's you see the movie, and it's different from another movie, right? Everybody has their unique character, unique storytelling, their own unique way of making the film is good. I think that variety works and actually spells good for any director who wants to come into this universe and create something for themselves, right? Bringing a little bit of themselves into that picture. You may not like it. You may not like their unique vision. You may not like their what they have to put out, but you can kind of appreciate that they got to put out what they want to put out. And I can certainly appreciate that. It's going to be certainly different than the conveyor belt of the McDonald's version of the comic book universe, which is Marvel Cinematic Universe. Speaking of cinema, congratulations, Joker. Joker leads all movies with 11 nominations at the Oscars. Oh, 11 Oscar nominations. Wow. Crazy, right? Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Screenplay, Adapted Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Original Score, Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing, Best Film Editing, Best Costume Design, Best Makeup and Hairstyling. 11 Oscar nominations for Joker. Congratulations for just being nominated. And I mean, just wow, this is crazy. For Joker, this is a huge win. I truly enjoyed Joker. It's one of the best films this past year. I am very happy that a movie like this is nominated at the Oscars. You know, it really shows you the difference between cinema and just popcorn movies. And I'm glad, I'm happy that the Oscars actually saw through all that critic babble, all that criticisms and the weak sheep out there who were thinking this is something more than much more aggressive than it really is, and actually in tune and seeing the art, seeing the cinema of this movie and realizing what an incredible piece of art they have in their hands here that is able to be shown to the world, except China, but to most of the world in any way. And $1 billion later, with 11 Oscar nominations, should show Warner Brothers, if you trust your directors, you put faith in your directors, you could potentially get something incredible here. I know you kind of missed the boat on Joker, but hope this is a lesson learned. And I hope this actually translates to James Gunn making the movie he wants, Kathy Yan making the movie she wants, Matt Reeves making the movie he wants, and possibly other directors as well, getting to make the movie they want without any further interference from very, egotistical Warner Brother execs. So that's what we got to be said about that. That is it for today's review of DC film news right now. So thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.